Politicians lie to you. This is an age-old truth. Politicians lie because they are sad, empty people, willing to say and do anything for approval. The fulfillment we normal people get from our work, our family, our children, our church, is not the driving force of the political class. Their drive in life is to receive the flaccid praise of other empty people. Our permanent political class in America still cares about who's appointed to the Kennedy Center board, who's on this week's Time magazine cover, who wins an Oscar or a Grammy. When was the last time you listened to a celebrity's opinion and thought, oh, that's smart. I'll base my worldview on that? Guess what? Our political class does it all the time. It leads to humiliating moments like this.
I just have one thing to say. Hang on here.
All right. There you go. Dance a little bit, Joe. Come on. I'll tell you, my man.
What? That was then candidate Joe Biden's sad attempt to appeal to Latino voters in Miami. Perhaps this is why President Trump received a historically high % of the Latino vote. Who can forget this cringe moment from the 2016 race when Hillary Clinton tried to whip and nay-nay? I tell you the truth. For the first time in my adult life, I actually do feel bad for Hillary Clinton watching that clip. To be fair, Hillary did do a better job at the Macarena 2 decades earlier. It's so cringe. Guys, it's so cringe. It really makes you wonder why a party that claims to value diversity so much, why do they always nominate really, really old, out-of-touch white people for president? Democrats would never be asked this obvious question, by the way, because liberals control every institution of media and culture. They never, ever have to hear a differing opinion or get asked a tough question. Must be nice, but this is also, it creates a very dangerous echo chamber. One that puts our ruling class wildly, humiliatingly out of touch with the American people. Take, for example, current White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki. Psaki has been in the job for 2 weeks. Has she answered a single tough question directly? Watch what happens when Psaki, the voice of the President of the United States, gets asked a remotely hard question.
I'll circle back if there's more I can share with you. I'll circle back with you if there's more to convey. I'll have to just circle back with you. We can circle back with him. I'm happy to circle back with you. I can circle back. I will have to circle back on that one. That's an excellent question.
Psaki circles back more than a Roomba in a cubicle. NASCAR drivers on the track do not circle back as hard and as often as Psaki. And if indeed you do follow up on one of these circle backs, this will be your answer.
FEMA has requested active duty troops be used at vaccination centers when they get stood up across the country. Does the White House support that request?
I did ask our team about this. You or someone else may have asked about this the other day, and I think I have something on it here. One moment. Let me talk to our team about it.
Psaki is so petrified of answering a difficult question that her team, and this is real, demanded reporters give her the questions ahead of time. The Daily Beast broke this story this week, detailing how Psaki's press team is asking reporters to list the questions they are going to ask before the press conference. As an aside, don't you miss when we had a real press secretary in this country, someone who answered questions like this?
The media has never called it the Kung flu. Calling it the Chinese coronavirus and calling it the Kung flu are very different things.
The media and your network specifically
called it the Kung flu.
The media and your network specifically have repeatedly used the term China virus and Wuhan virus, and then gone on to deride the president as somehow using a term that they themselves have never used.
Iron sharpens iron. It's good to be challenged. Overcoming a challenge makes you look prepared and confident in your beliefs. It makes you look human and normal. Looking human and normal is something John Kerry has never achieved. Kerry is the special envoy for the environment in the Biden administration. Kerry cheered after Biden cost tens of thousands of Americans their jobs by canceling the Keystone XL pipeline and suspending fracking and oil development on federal land. Kerry's message to out-of-work Americans? Get a new job!
We need to grow the new jobs that pay better, that are cleaner. You look at the consequences of black lung for a miner, for instance, and measure that against the fastest growing job in the United States before COVID was solar power technician. The same people can do those jobs, but the choice of doing the solar power one now is a better choice.
Yeah, a better choice. Tell that to someone who just lost their job. While the out-of-work union pipe fitter struggles to afford the $4 gallon of gas for his pickup, John Kerry himself travels on a private jet, like this one. Kerry loves his private jet a lot. He flies on it a lot. News broke this week that Kerry took his private jet to Iceland to accept an environmental award in 2019. Real life. What does our new environmental czar have to say about his own pollution when pressed?
On that issue, pollution, I understand that you came here with a private jet. Is that an environmental way to travel?
If you offset your carbon, it's the only choice for somebody like me who is traveling the world to win this battle. I negotiated the Paris Accords for the United States. I've been involved in this fight for years. I negotiated with President Xi to bring President Xi to the table so we could get Paris.
Did you hear that? It's the only way for someone like me to travel. Someone like me. That's code, by the way, for I am better than you. The rules don't apply to me. Rules for me, but not for thee, you little people. That may as well be the motto of the modern Democratic Party. This is exactly why Joe Biden can sign an executive order to wear masks on federal property and break his own order in the same day. Speaking of coronavirus, at the crippling height of the coronavirus pandemic, when millions of Americans were losing their jobs and savings, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi thought it was wise to sit in front of her $30,000 freezer in her Napa Valley mansion and giggle about how much gourmet ice cream she had stashed away.
This is the episode of Cribs I never knew I needed. Oh, my... Wow.
Other people in our family go for some other flavors, but chocolate, and then we have some other chocolate here.
See, I've always felt a connection with you.
Wow. Must be nice. Must be nice to be a Democrat in the media. Nancy Pelosi did not just laugh in the faces of hurting Americans by oogling her own ice cream stash. She forced out-of-work Americans to serve her like a queen. When Nancy needed her hair did, she forced open a shuttered salon in her district and wandered around maskless in violation of California law. Many remember this video, but what you may not remember, what you may have forgotten, is Nancy's response. In the immediate aftermath of this scandal, Pelosi did not apologize. She blamed the salon owner.
I take responsibility for trusting the word of a neighborhood salon that I've been to over the years many times, and that when they said, well, we're able to accommodate people one person at a time, and that we can set up that time, I trusted that. As it turns out, it was a setup. So I take responsibility for falling for a setup. And that's all I'm going to say on that. Anything else?
I mean, it's embarrassing, it's humiliating, but it's not just salon trips and ice cream. Pelosi's self-serving actions have made you in your community less safe. One of the most cruel, vicious, clear and present threats to our nation's safety and sovereignty is the porous southern border. Gangs, drugs, weapons, sex trafficking, and all manner of evil enters our nation on that border. A wall would be a common sense way to slow this American carnage. You may remember what Pelosi said about a wall as President Trump was fighting to build one.
Fact is, a wall is an immorality. It's not who we are as a nation.
Yet the moment Pelosi herself is threatened in Congress, she does what? Erect a wall with razor wire and American troops standing guard. The wall, by the way, of Donald Trump's dreams. Donald Trump goes to bed and dreams about this wall that Nancy Pelosi put up. That's embarrassing narcissism for you. Walls for me, but not for thee.
You just watched Newsmax TV, America's fastest growing cable news channel, now in more than 70 million homes. You can get Newsmax TV on your cable system or check your cable guide. And if your system doesn't carry Newsmax, call them, tell them you want Newsmax TV, because we're real news for real people.